Hello everyone, I'm going to be reacting to this clip because it's genuinely insane, and you'll see what I mean. So the guy in the video is Ali Abdaal, who is a pretty big productivity YouTuber, and his main shtick is to promote and teach people about how they can be more productive, and he'll basically say in the video that watching media and entertainment is in itself unproductive, and of course he's absolutely right? So I don't disagree with him with that, but my contention is, however, is that entertainment is intended to be unproductive because you are meant to be watching this sort of stuff in your downtime, during your break, when you're at home and you're not meant to be working. However, I feel that Ali here is doing what he's doing is trying to make an intrinsically unproductive task into something akin to work. And we can see here that the solution he provides is absolutely insane. So we're going to watch this first bit now.
Watching anime and watching TV in general feels to me like kind of a waste of time. And because I worship at the altar of productivity and the only thing I care about is productivity, everything in my life has to be productive. Like, listening to audiobooks at 3.5x speed. And I sort of...
It gets worse than this, so don't worry.
Sort of wished I could do the same for anime. And I've just...
Yeah, so already we're getting some red flags. Like, I know that he's probably saying it ironically, but I don't think he himself realizes how dangerous and harmful this sort of message is. He literally says he worships at the altar of productivity, and I don't know much about him, so this is all completely conjecture, but does he find it enjoyable? Like, does he find it amusing that to eliminate every aspect of rest in one's life is his ultimate purpose for existence? And when he says that he listens to audiobooks at 3.5 times speed, that's absolutely insane, right? Isn't the whole point of listening or reading a book or the whole point of it is to actually think about it, right? You're meant to meditate on it. Like, you're not meant to just keep consuming it. It's definitely one of the key dangers of capitalism, because a capitalism without Christ is uncontrolled and so deeply and hyper consumerist that everything, no matter if it's art or literature, media, or bits of nature, everything has been commodified and made into a product for the consumption of the consumer. I think Ali is a product of that, being that he only lives his life in a purely utilitarian manner. And everything that has been created, that has been intended for our enjoyment, it goes against God's very design for man, where we see in Genesis and the purpose of the Sabbath, that being that God wants us to rest. However, we see Christless capitalism simply encouraging the individual to only think of every aspect of one's life as something to consume rather than something to appreciate and enjoy. So right off the bat, I don't mean ill of Ali, but we can see this is actually a result of atheism. And even in atheism, atheists have their idols for which Ali worships at the altar of productivity.
Discovered this incredible new method for doing that. This is not that revolutionary. Maybe you know of it before, but it's basically based on a Chrome extension called Video Speed Controller. And this has absolutely changed the game. So now this is how I watch anime. So if we take like an early episode, for example, so there's no spoilers in this, it always starts with like an opening sequence. So obviously I'll kind of skip the opening sequence. I'll fast forward to like 2 minutes, and then I go full screen. And then what you can do with Video Speed Controller, the extension, is you can use hotkeys to like speed up the video or slow the video down or reset it. And so normally what I do is I'll just speed up until it gets to an interesting point, and I'll speed it as fast as I can so I can still keep up with it. And so what I'm pressing is
Oh my goodness. Again, I repeat this because this is absolutely insane. Now, I will say that for the person who spends all of their time on entertainment, for like the otaku whose whole life purpose is to simply just spend all of their time on watching movies and TV shows, yeah, I think that guy is also wasting their life. But what Ali's done here is that he's gone so far back the other way and to be equally as insane as the people who are unproductive. I think he's come full circle that from a fear of being incredibly unproductive, Ali himself has become unproductive by watching anime at 3 times speed, because he's not actually enjoying the story or the animation, the intricacies of what makes an anime good and what makes a viewer so deeply fall in love with the world. All of those things have been removed, and Ali has separated himself from the actual point of viewing entertainment. Though I will actually commend him that he is a super successful YouTuber, and he wouldn't be at this point if he himself wasn't productive. And Ali's absolutely admirable and really based for the level of discipline that he has just developed for himself over the past few years. However, I think it's at this point that he's kind of gone too far in his quest to be as hyper productive as possible, because I think he's just lost the point of watching something for the sake of entertainment in the first place.
D to speed up the video by 0.2 times each time, and I'm just pressing D quite a lot. And then pressing S to slow it down when it gets to an interesting point. And then if it gets to like a really interesting point and I need to reset it, I just press the R button. So at the moment, this is really fast, and then I press R. And then it goes back to normal, and that's like really cool. So now when I'm
no, it's not really cool. I haven't watched Hunter x Hunter, so I have no idea what this scene's about. But like you've lost the point, right? I'll say it again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You've kind of lost the point of entertainment, which is like you're speeding through it to just simply to consume it.
been eating dinner and stuff, this is how I've been watching Hunter x Hunter, and then I can like fully focus on it, and it just goes so fast when it's like kind of character building kind of stuff. And so I don't need to watch it at normal speed.
the way that he said it, like, oh, it's just character building stuff. It's kind of cringe because like it is important that, of course, everyone can't be a reviewer of a movie, but I think when you are watching something, you are meant to think about it. You aren't meant to just passively consume something. Like you are actively thinking about the things that are happening on the screen. So to say like, oh, it's just character building, so, and just to wave it off like that, there's a certain level of disrespect that kind of emanates from a statement like that.
And then when it gets to like a really cool fight sequence, or if they're explaining something like, you know, about how the different auras work or anything like that, then I can just press the R button, reset it to normal speed, and then I can kind of revamp it. So it sort of feels genuinely like you're playing a video game almost, and that you're sort of like tweaking the controls here and there, and it's just like a more engaging, more interesting way of watching stuff.
And I think that's probably the worst part of this video, which is like, oh, it's a more engaging and interesting way. No, there's nothing about this. There's definitely nothing about this that makes it more engaging to watch. Like, this is not the way that you're supposed to watch entertainment. As I have said repeatedly, I've said it before, it's simply insane for him to actually live this way. And I'm not trying to be mean here, but if you do genuinely practice this, then I think you've missed the point of entertainment and watching something to enjoy it in the first place. To immerse oneself in a world and to have actually appreciated the fictional setting which has been created for you by people who are incredibly talented. And I think it would be a real shame if they realized that someone was watching their work at 3 times speed. Like all of the directors and the voice actors and all the animators and everyone who's involved in the artwork stuff. I think it's so incredibly unfortunate that's the case, right? So, but for the Christian, of course, there is a balance between work and rest, which we should always be mindful of. But I think we have to realize that there is a core biblical truth that all of us don't realize, which is in the beginning, the first act of God, which is recorded in Genesis, is that he created. For us as Christians and us as humans, to create is to reflect what God did in the beginning when he created the universe. So I really do respect and appreciate the tons of effort and work that a lot of writers and animators go through to produce something like a whole season of anime, which sometimes we take for granted, I think. But it really is a grand endeavor that these studios have engaged in. So that's why I think we should respect the creation of a human. Of course, not to hold it in reverence or to worship it, but to recognize that this is a beautiful thing that someone has done, which is consistent with them being in an image bearer of God. So let me know what you think in the comments below, because yeah, as I said, it's absolutely insane. Again, not trying to be mean, but there's an insanity to this. This isn't the way that you're supposed to be watching entertainment. And like, there is something that feels so wrong about watching something at 3 times speed, right? However, if you do want some anime recommendations, I have made a couple of anime reviews. The point of my reviews actually is that it's to identify themes which overlap with Christian values. If you're interested in that sort of stuff, I think you'll really like my video that I recently did on Kaiju number 8.